Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Volvo Brickfan on GTA 5, racing one of the wacky stunt races. You know, plenty of jumps, plenty of craziness that normally goes on with these, and as we come off the loop, gets torpedoed by a car heading up. The thing is, the Thrax not only gets away with landing the twist, we go for a big old spin across the next ramp, still have enough momentum to land pointing the right way. Yes, maybe lost a little bit of time, but pretty damn impressive. Stinty up next on GTA 5's doing a free mode time trump, or whatever it is. Carries a little bit too much speed, can't quite get the car turned across. Now, realises last second they're not quite going to make it, wants to restart, but doesn't quite time the button press right, and the game decides that, well, the bailout of the car should lead to a big flight. That's a hell of a flight for the person to pinged off the wall, made it all the way on top of the bridge and the building. That's, yeah, quite impressive. Up next, we stick with GTA 5. L7XF Bomb is minding their own business, driving around on a bike. Now, they go to swerve out of the way, or they turn in a little bit too much, realise they swerve out of the way of the car, can't quite gather everything back up, and end up learning out that you don't want to crash into signs. Yes, signs win that battle. Battle of biker versus, yeah, the bike doesn't come off particularly well. Gears up next on Mafia 3 with a kind of classic car chase, if you will. Now, things go wrong for the vehicle trying to get away. They kind of make a little bit of a mess of this corner, and the player goes for a big T-bone, and, well, the FailRace police department's made its way into another, well, not really police department, just FailRace Takedown has made it into another game. That was a big flip. That was a really big flip off of a curb. Mustang Bugatti is up next on Horizon 4. Now, this was during a round of sumo. The aim of the game, push the other cars off the containers. Pretty straightforward. Now, the Javelin here is in a little bit of trouble. It's cornered, it's got a Lamborghini pushing the back of it, it has a Jag trying to push the side of it. It looks like the Javelin's day is done. The two cars pushing it decide, well, to leave it alone, fight it amongst themselves. The Countach actually gets a really good push, nudges the Jag off, so the Lamborghini is there. That still thinks the Javelin stuck amazingly. The Javelin clings on. I don't know how it managed to recover that particular one, but it spins away. They do a little dance around the place, and we learn why you should definitely make sure you've finished off your opponents. The Javelin almost gets pushed off the other side. It then just about gets traction. The Countach now has no answer for the muscle car, and the AMC would push the Lamborghini off the platform. The AMC not leaving the Countach, clinging on for dear life, and while it does fall off as well in sympathy, it would win. So, fantastic comeback. Fantastic comeback in that one. Manila Guitar on Horizon 4 has loaded into the game inside a tram. Yes, if you ever wanted to know what the inside of the trams look like, well, it's this. They're not the most luxurious, shall we say, of transports. In the end, the car does get dropped out of it. It's just a well-timed, weird position to spawn into the game. Can't say that one's happened to me, but there we go. Yummy here up next on Motorsport 7, with AIs not really knowing what to do. This is just the start of a race, and 4 AI cars drive themselves into a wall and proceed to sit there. We have an RS6, we have a Hoonigan Ute, I think it is. I'm not quite sure on the other cars further down the way, but yeah, 4 of them just took a hard left turn and parked in the wall, and they stayed there. They stayed there for the entirety of the race. I guess they didn't particularly like the Dubai circuit. There we go, as everyone goes past. I think there might have been another Audi further down. It might have been a Mustang as well. Those group of cars. Sure. Dat Mudkip up next on a Assetto Corsa, having to take last-minute avoiding action on an AI-controlled Ferrari that moved across at a bad point. And, well, at these sort of speeds on this sort of circuit, when things go wrong, it does tend to go pretty spectacularly wrong. It's a big crash for the, I presume, LaFerrari we're on board with. However, well, we might have found a hole in the world, just a smidge. I'm not quite sure how it managed it. I think it was something to do, I guess, with the way that the track, like the change between banking and apron. As the car was rolling about, it found a little patch to go through, and off we go into the void. We're back up towards the 200 mile an hour mark as it's spiraling wildly out of control. Yeah, not the best for that. Friend stuff on Assetto Corsa. Also with finding holes in the world, this time with some Formula 1 cars racing at I'm not quite sure what circuit. Get things a little bit wrong in the McLaren, slides into the back of the Sauber. The McLaren has a nasty incident with the wall, but in trying to get out of said incident spot, finds another place to finish. That hiding out of embarrassment, that one, off through the floor. Lovely Corgi on Ultimate Blister gets things wrong in a Renault Formula 1 car. Locks the brakes up, can't quite get stopped. However, it's the attempts to rejoin the circuit, a little bit too much throttle and a curb, leads to a very slow spin. And roll, I should say. Just a little bit embarrassing, that one. Done. Fanta up next on F1 2018 with some Ferraris causing trouble. Yes, one, I think it was Raikkonen in this one, ended up clonking, or got to the inside of the Red Bull. In the end, didn't quite make the pass stick and gets turned around. The problem is he turned around in front of the pack. The other Ferrari punts the wheel off. That leaves a three-wheel Ferrari in the middle of the road, and nobody bothers to slow down. I think the player car was the McLaren that went shooting past on the inside, and it's just this huge, huge collection of cars. So this is on board one of the Force Indias that was much further back. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, admittedly they don't see what's going on around the corner, but the yellow flag normally makes the AI slow down, but this lot just ploughed straight into it. I mean, the Force India ends up climbing over something. I'm not even sure what's buried underneath that one. There's some shuffling. A few cars... Oh, it's a Haas he's ended up on. Williams comes around much later and knocks the back. The fact that Williams gets taken out in that one, the Force India is still good to go. Just... I mean, that is pretty much the entire field. That is pretty much the entire field gone in that one crash. Certainly they're heavily damaged, or... I mean, that's a big wreck. I presume the two Mercedes were off at the front, because I don't actually see them ever in this particular one. There's a couple of cars that do work their way free, but a lot of broken bits. Amazingly, the Force India the camera's following, the one that was probably involved the heaviest in this, does actually get out relatively trouble-free, all things considered. As trouble-free as you can really be from that, as various other cars get themselves going. There we go. That is going to be it for this week's FailRace episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description at the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that's going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.